Hello, everybody. This is Andrew Sherman of the MLBeers podcast, and today this is going to be the first stream of many streams for the MLBeers podcast. And I thought it was a good. I think this is a good idea to bring the first stream to the first championship of the MLBeers League Championship, which is a online league um, on Out of the Park Baseball 18. And of course, you see on your screen right here, you have the champions of their respective divisions. For the California Angels, uh, they have won the West Division with a very, I have to say, very low wins, 76 and 86, while they face the Washington Senators of the East Division, and I mean West Division if I said the California Angels were in the East Division. Anyway, the Washington Senators winning 96 games and losing 48. Uh, but let's see what's going on. Of course, this is the first time ever running this, you know, running uh, running a live stream. Of course, all the other videos that I've done for the podcast were just recordings done on, a recording program, and now I'm just gonna do these live. So anyway, go to the game, shall we? Shall we? As seen here, this is the league page, of course. Just to give a little tidbit about this league, it is a 8-team league, only 5 human players. The other 3 are computer players. Of course, the championship game does not have any human players in it. So this is going to be very interesting who to root for. Of course, you can go for the high powering offense of the Washington Senators or the California Angels, depending on what you want to do. But anyways, more about this league. It's a league that I started with a couple people from our Twitter Twitter group, All Things Baseball, and we decided to, one day I told my co-host that, I wanted to do this. We got a couple of guys in, and well, here you go. This is what it is. So, of course, this game is in 1970. The teams, as I show up the standings real quick, the teams are from, old school teams that are either defunct or became different teams through franchises. Of course, this Washington Senators became the Texas Rangers. The Brooklyn Dodgers, of course, became the Los Angeles Dodgers. The Boston Bean Eaters, I believe, became the Boston Braves, and then Milwaukee Braves to Atlanta, or the Red Sox. I'll need to look that up again. And then, of course, the Montreal Expos, which are now the Washington Nationals instead of the Senators. But anyway, for the West Division, of course, we have the California Angels, which they are now the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, the most ridiculous name for any sports team in the world. But anyway, the California Angels, because that was the name in 1970. Some of these teams, most all teams on here are, they either played in 1970 or not. I believe Montreal was in 65 or 69 when they came up. Of course, the Washington Senators, I believe, was there. But anyways, getting back to the list, we have the Kansas City Athletics, which before Kansas City, they were the Philadelphia Athletics, but left in the 50s, went to Kansas City, then in 1967 moved to Fame Oakland, and then 4 years later, no, 5 years later, they became World Series champions on a three-peat with Reggie Jackson, Catfish Hunter, and etc., which were on those Kansas City Athletics teams. Then we have the St. Louis Browns, and of course they're in red because this is my team. They were, part of the original franchises when the MLB started, especially when the American League started in 1900. And the Browns never won a title. The closest was 1944 when they played against the St. Louis Cardinals in that series, and I believe the Cardinals won 4-1. I should know that with my heart, but I don't. But I do know that happened. But anyway, then we have the Seattle Pilots, which in 1969, this is kind of funny in a way because in 1969 they played in Seattle. Then once the Milwaukee Braves moved to Atlanta in the 1970 season, the Seattle Pilots moved to Milwaukee and became the Milwaukee Brewers. And then I believe 1971, the Seattle Mariners became Seattle's team. But anyway, besides all of that, the Athletics are owned by my co-host Philip Corwin. The Seattle Pilots are owned by Twitter, by one of our Twitter followers that's in our group. His name is at Senior Lumpy. Then, of course, we have the Montreal Expos, which again, from one of our Twitter group followers, Boomsy. And then we actually have my friend that I work with the Springfield Cardinals in the summer, King Joffles, which he is the Boston Bean Eaters owner, manager, whatever. I think it's GM manager, but we like to say owners anyways, just for the sake of it. And of course, the Washington Senators, Brooklyn Dodgers, and the California Angels are the computer teams. Anyway, on to it. We're just going to look at the statistics real quick, and even though I said this in the description, I can't think. Even though I said it in the description, the Washington Senators really have a great lineup. As you could tell, Ramon Ochoa, Ramon Ochoa won the Triple Crown, while on the pitching side, Jonathan Ponce was the best out of the pitchers. But it's hard to say for any of the California Angels guys. Really, that side of the division really was a dogfight. Definitely the last 2 weeks of the season, the Kansas City Athletics went 9-1, and we almost had our co-host be the division winner, but the California Angels defeated the Seattle Pilots. I'm just highlighting over on the top right corner. They beat them in the last 2 games, I believe, to stay above the Athletics to win the division. But I mean, it was very, very tight during that stretch, especially the last week. The Kansas City Athletics won all their games, if I recall. And actually, if I go to my home screen real quick and look at it, let's go to the Kansas City Athletics. Won all their games in the last week. And the Angels lost 3 starting from Monday to Wednesday, lost their 3 games and then won 2 so they can be part of it. And let's check that so I'm correct on that. Oh yeah, they lost all 3, then they won the last 2, like I said. But anyway, it's been a very, very interesting look upon this. I mean, I think this is the first, of course, besides Out of the Park Baseball, well, Out of the Park Developments doing their own live streams, which definitely, if you are a baseball fan and either don't have the game, but have always wanted to get it, or um, or just a fan of baseball, period, and just can't wait until spring training starts. Definitely, they do a lot of streams. Kind of got their, kind of felt like doing a stream because they were starting to do it. Um, but the difference for mine is I'm not gonna do most of their stuff. I'm not gonna be, doing. Um, I'm not gonna be doing seasons with the team or anything else. I'm pretty much going to be doing what we've been doing so far for the podcast, the historical showdowns, which I know a couple episodes Out of the Park Baseball did that, but I did not know. Anyway, then finish the Lucky Sevens tournament, which will probably be recorded, not live streamed. And then, of course, you know, if we have major events going on with the MLBeers League, like this championship or All Star game or whatever, um, I will definitely be streaming here. But anyway, let's actually get to the actions, shall we? So as you can see here, we are finally in the championship where it is the Washington Senators versus the California Angels. Like I said before, the overall record for the Senators is 96-48, and the Angels have a 76-68 record. Both, of course, won their divisions. Washington Senators, I think they won their division 3 weeks to a month out, and of course, I told you how the Angels did. Anyway, the home and road records, we have the Washington Senators 48-24 on both sides, while the California Angels went 47-25 at home and 29-43 on the road, which I believe is the worst in all of baseball. When the Senators and Angels meet up, the Senators win the series 12-9, 12 games to 9. And then, of course, runs scored 834 for the Washington Senators. The Angels have 684, and then runs against 557 for the Senators, and the Angels have 655. So anyway, let's actually get on to this. If I remember correctly how to do this, let's see how this goes. We'll just simulate the first 3 games because there's not going to be a decider on that. So let's finish the day here real quick. And of course, Lumpy always having something for me to deal with. Let me deal with this real quick. Okay, and we're back now. Sorry about that. Just have to, doing this as an online league, you kind of have to take care of all the stuff that's been going on. I just had to right there. So anyway, getting back to it. Of course, this is the Seattle Pilots team, but we are going to the playoff coverage. And in Game 1, the Washington Senators defeated the California Angels 7-4, where Washington's Mona Nanilo, if I'm saying that correctly, Niwa, that's Naniwa, which he is from, I believe, Fiji by the flag. And I should say this too. I was really thinking outside of the box, and I just added any player. Well, I decided to have players from all around the world be in this game, so we might get really crazy names that maybe we shouldn't see in normal today MLB baseball, but I like it. It's, it makes it something different. Anyway, getting back to it, uh, Nanioa, if I'm saying that correctly again, was the winning pitcher. Omar Lopez for the California Angels is the losing pitcher, and Mr. Jonathan Pilar of the Washington Senators gets the save. We had a couple home runs, which was great. Hung Ki Ping from China got the one home run for the California Angels, and Ramon Ochoa, the man that won the Triple Crown, hit a home run. And then Chris Yuzhinsev, if I'm saying that correctly, hit a home run also. Let's just look at the box score real quick and see really who was the, kind of the players of the game. And besides, I mean, it's pretty close from being Owens right here, Barney Owens being the player of the game only because he has those 3 hits, but then Ping, of course, getting the 1 hit that turned into a home run, making 3 RBIs right there. That is the difference maker. For California, he could have been the guy could have been the man of the game. Anyway, to the Senators, of course, we have to look on this side, a really powerful team. Ramon Ochoa, of course, went 1 for 4. He hit the home run. And it was pretty close against Miller as the DH, and Yuhintsev, the center fielder, as seen here. Both did really well, but Yuhintsev, of course, has to be the man of the game, the player of the game. But on to the pitching side, Carranza went 6 and 1/3 innings, gave up 6 hits, 4 runs, make 3 of those earned, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. He only pitched 88 times, but 56 of those were strikes. And Lopez, of course, came in and became the losing pitcher. He only pitched 1 2/3 innings, gave up 3 hits, 3 runs, make 2 of those earned, and 2 home runs. He only pitched 19 times, 16 of those were strikeouts. And of course, on the Washington side, Jonathan Ponce, the guy that won 20 games, only went 4 2/3 innings, gave up 6 hits, 2 runs, make those 2 earned, 4 strikeouts, pitched only 58 times, and 43 of those were strikeouts. Then Santisaven, if I'm saying that correctly, only pitched 1/3 of an inning. I don't know why. I guess he gave up too many hits. Gave up 3 hits, 2 runs, make those 2 earned. The lone home run that he gave up to Ping, pitched 11 times. 9 of those were strikeouts. Then Nanilwa threw 2 innings, 0 hits, 0 runs, no walks, 1 strikeout, no home runs, pitched 28 times. 17 of those were strikes. And then Pilar, 2 innings, 1 hit, 3 strikeouts, 31 pitches, 20 of those were strikeouts. And of course, player of the game is Chris Yuhintsev at Griffith Stadium, which was the actual stadium for the Washington Senators. The game time was 2 hours and 43 minutes. The attendance was 28,931. And of course, the weather out there was partly cloudy, 67 degrees, and the wind was blowing out to right at 9 miles per hour. And of course, as seen here, the special notes of the game, which we do not get to see until the very end, that Ponce was injured while pitching, and shortstop Rich Hammond was injured on a defensive play. So that will be it of game one. And of course, the Senators out to play against these guys. So, of course, let's finish today and see how that goes because it could be different, but it isn't. The California Angels defeat the Washington Senators 9-4. Winning pitcher was Francisco Gonzalez, and the losing pitcher was Alex Corrales. And let's look at the box score real quick. A lot of home runs in this game, which was very interesting. I actually want to look back at that real quick. Garcia, Liz, Romero, Beal all hit home runs for the Angels, and Yuhintsev and Andrade hit one home run. Now back to the box score, and let's kind of see here. It was a mishmash. Besides, Ponce getting injured, which probably was the difference maker. Corrales gave up 9 hits, 5 earned runs, 1 walk, 3 Ks, and 3 home runs in his 6 1/3 innings pitched, while he threw 98 times, 63 of those were strikes. And then it went to Tom Watts, which that was a complete guess. 2/3 of an inning, gave up 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 1 strikeout, and then Pilar came back for a second day in a row for 2 innings, gave up 2 hits, 2 runs, no walks, 3 strikeouts, and 1 home run. And for Gonzalez, he went a complete game, 9 innings, gave up 10 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts, and 2 home runs. He pitched 136 times, which is a rarity in today's game of baseball, and 85 of those were strikeouts. Now to the hitting side, real quick. Not a lot of changes, defensive changes for the Washington Senators, but it looks like Yuhintsev has been the guy for them. Ochoa, yeah, he's got on base twice with hits, no walks, but you have Yuhintsev with 3 hits, he scored twice with 2 RBIs. And then, of course, looking over at the California side, a lot of crooked numbers over here. We have Beal with 3 hits, scoring twice, 1 at bat, 1 RBI, 5 at bats. Then we have Hammond that was injured the game before, but then comes back in, and it looks like he came out substituted for Hammonds in the 9th, probably to give him a little bit of rest, but of course we'll look at the note at the moment. Hammond had 3 hits, 1 scored once, and 5 at bats. And then I have to say, usually it's at the top of your lineup are the best hitters, but you got to give it up for the California Angels to have the best bottom 3, with Garcia going 2 for 4, Romero 2 for 4, Liz going 2 for 4. Garcia and Romero both have 1 strikeout for each, but Garcia kind of bounced back with that walk. But overall, they've scored the majority of the runs. Garcia had 1, Romero had 2, Liz had 1. And of course, the other numbers right here, like Beal had 2 runs. But man, Garcia with 2 RBIs, also Romero and Liz had 3 RBIs. And of course, let's look at the home runs like we didn't last time. Beal hit his in the 7th inning. Romero hit his in the 5th. Liz hit his in the 7th, and Garcia hit his in the 9th. While on the other side, we have Andrade hitting one in the 7th, which it seems like the power number right here. If you're looking at the box score, seeing in the 7th inning, the Angels scored 3 and the Senators scored 2. And then Yuhintsev hitting his 2nd home run, but his only home run of the night being in the ninth inning. Besides that, let's look at the player of the game, which somehow they still have Chris Yehintsev as the player of the game. I'd rather go with either Romero or Garcia, even though Garcia had his home run late in the game where it wasn't really important. But Beal, um, definitely better than anything else. But anyways, playing in Griffith Stadium, it was raining, but at a lovely 76 degrees. Wind was blowing out to right at 10 miles per hour. The start time was at 1:35 p.m. and the game time was 3 hours and 12 minutes. And of course, in attendance was 28,832. And it seems like they were playing as a defensive because not seen here like it was in the other. Nobody was injured. There was no special note of that. So let's go back to the playoff coverage screen real quick. There is no games tomorrow. They have the day off, which is today, so we will sim up to that. So now the series is tied, which is very, very compelling. I was expecting something like this, but the Washington Senators really coming out and playing because of that 96-48 record. But again, they also face other teams that were poor. I mean, especially myself and the Pilots, and of course I believe the Expos. Not a bad season. Just a bit under 500. But the Boston Bean Eaters and the Montreal Expos probably helped that as well. Anyway, for Game 3, they have Thomas Redding and Gareth Johnson as the pitchers. Redding Reading as for the Senators, and Gareth Johnson for the California Angels. So let's just simulate this game again. And it looks like the Senators defeat the California Angels 3-0 at Angels Stadium, I believe. No home runs in this game. It looks like both the pitchers, just seeing it from here, Redding got the winning tally while Johnston had the losing tally. Let's look at the box score real quick. Both went complete games, but one had to lose. As seen here, all the 3 runs from the Washington Senators came from the first inning, as that was it. 3-0 Senators. Senators had 4 hits to Angels 6, but there could be that costly error from the Angels that probably scored a little bit. So looking at the Washington side real quick, I have to say no numbers really pop out. I mean, of course, you have to give credit to Almuller and Dominguez for getting the RBIs and the runs in the first inning. Then you have, pretty much that on that side. Nothing too great. 3 at-bats up top, 4 in the middle, and then 2 at the back. There was a couple of guys that were substituted, as seen here. Tellus was substituted Ochoa, which he went 0 for 3 of the night. Probably, again, a defensive measure. And then Perez came in for Osorio, which, again, went 0 for 4 of the night. But he was left on base twice. But anyway, getting on to the other side of the box score, we have the California Angels and Ping going 3 for 4, but nothing really else. Of course, there was no home runs, which was very very different. But getting to the pitching lines real quick, Reading went 9 innings, gave up 6 hits, zeros across, 8 Ks, no home runs, of course. He pitched 104 times. 73 of those were strikes. And for Johnston, the losing pitcher out of this, went 9 innings, gave up 4 hits, 3 runs, of course, in the first inning, but make one of those a earned run. Then 4 walks and 4 strikeouts. He pitched 109 times, and 64 of those were strikeouts. And of course, Thomas Redding, the man of the game, the player of the game, and of course, the ballpark was at Angels Stadium of Anaheim. The weather was partly cloudy, 66 degrees, wind blowing in from right field at 7 miles per hour. Game time, the start time was at 1:35 p.m. Central Standard. The game time was 2 hours and 34 minutes, and the attendance was 44,614. Well, that was very, very interesting of that. And let's go back to the playoff coverage real quick. I'm gonna check these messages because I'm pretty sure they're just showing some news and all that stuff. So, like I said, Thomas Reading had his moment of the game. Anyway, so back to it. Game 4 is today. Matt Mitchell will be throwing for the Washington Senators, and LB Gronenboom will be pitching for the California Angels. And of course, if you guys are wondering why I haven't really started, like showing any game footage, my thing is I'm going to wait until it's a game clinching game, a series clinching game, because what's the point of watching game 1 when you have to watch other games? So, of course, we're going to sim game 4 today here. And like I said, Matt Mitchell and LB Gronenboom will be on the mounds for their respective teams. Here we go. We will finish the day. And the Washington Senators defeat the California Angels 5-4. Pilar comes in to get the win, and Lopez gets the loss, and his second one for the year. There was home runs from Hechegare, if I'm saying that correctly, and then Campion, which he is from Puerto Rico, if I saw that correctly with the flags. Anyway, getting to the box score real quick. In the first inning, the California Angels scored twice. Then the Senators at the top of the inning got those runs back. In the bottom of the third, the Angels scored 1. And then it was quiet through the middle innings, 4, 5, and 6. And then in the 7th, the Washington Senators got that run back from the third. And then the California Angels took back the lead, but then they had no ump. The Washington Senators took that run back in the 8th, making it all 4-4. And then in the top of the 9th, the Washington Senators scored the 5th and final run for them, making the game 5-4. And they both gave up 10 hits and no errors on each side. So looking at the Washington Senators batting line score real quick, I'm horrible. Anyway, Zhang went 3 for 5. Dominguez went 1 for 5. Hechegare went 1 for 3. Compian went 2 for 4. Uzentev went 1 for 3. He's usually the better of the guys. Osorio and everybody else did not do much. Of course, we did not see Ramon in there, if I can remember his last name. But the Triple Crown winner was not in the Ramon Ochoa. He was there, but not really, as he went over 5. Anyway, we have really, I have to say, Compian with the 2 hits, at 4 tries, and of course 2 RBIs. I have to say he's he would be the man, well, the player of the game on the hitting side. But looking at the California side, real quick, Beal went 1 for 5. Ping went 2 for 4. Hoblin went 2 for 5. Owens went 3 for 2. So on and so forth. Everybody else either had no hits or one hit. Couple sprinkles of walks. It seems like almost everybody got struck out. But Ping probably had I have to say Hoblin probably had the best stat line for the California Angels, but I could be wrong with that. Now going on to the pitching side, we have Matt Mitchell went 6 1/3 innings, gave up 7 hits, 4 runs, make 4 of those earned, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts, no home runs. He threw 109 times, and 69 of those were strikes. Then Pilar, the winning pitcher, went 2 2/3 innings, gave up 3 hits, no earned runs, 2 walks, 1 strikeout. He only pitched 36 times, 22 of those were strikes. Then for the California Angels, we have Cronenboom going 6 innings, gave up 4 hits, 3 earned runs, 3 walks, 2 strikeouts, 1 home run. He pitched 81 times. Almost half of those were strikes. Then Lopez, the losing pitcher, went 3 innings, gave up 6 hits, 2 earned runs, no walks, 2 strikeouts, and 1 home run. He pitched 60 times. 36 of those were strikes. Anyway, Ricky Compion became the player of the game. Of course, the game was played in Anaheim. The game time was 3 hours and 12 minutes. 44,924 people were in attendance, and of course, clear skies, 79 degrees in Anaheim in September. The wind was blowing in from right at 8 miles per hour. So it's now getting down to the nitty-gritty, folks. As we go back to the playoff coverage, getting down to the nitty-gritty, the Washington Senators are in the lead 3-1 here, and Jonathan Ponce is back on the mound, even though he was injured in Game 1, and I have to say this is going to be intense. I mean, yeah, the California Angels pretty much did not win. I mean, they won at home, 47-25, but it was, but if they don't win here, I think it's going to be difficult for them to see anything else when they're on the road. So now this could be the defining moment, the clincher of it all for the Washington Senators. Of course, like I said, Jonathan Ponce will be, or Ponce, I think it's Ponce, will be pitching for the Senators, while the California Angels will have Ishmael Carranza. And, I think it's going to be a good one. Let's see if I remember correctly. I've done this with my other simulations that I can do it. But let's see if I can watch the game. I think I can. I just have to go to schedule. Scores, that's what it is. Go to scores. We'll quote unquote manage the game, but we won't mess with any of the teams, of course. And while that is happening, I am going to take a little drink. I see no one's been in the chat. Of course, chat it up. I would like to talk to you all, see what's going on with everything. Of course, I'm going to do a little bit of work while everything is loading up, of course, and work while everything is loading up, and of course, just to see how everything's going. And so let's actually get back to the game, shall we? Because I think it's already up and ready to go. So of course, I'm not gonna take. I'm gonna go through the lineups real quick, but I'm not gonna mess with any of the lineups because that would be an idiotic idea. So, excuse me if you heard that. Anyway, we have hosting for the Washington Senators lineup and starting pitcher. We have hosting Ho Sang Zhang. I think it's Chin, but I could be wrong. Uh, at first base, hits 115 batting average. Actually, in the playoffs, let's talk about playoff numbers. He's 250, 249, and 313. He's 2 for 5 against Carranza. Then we have Javier Dominguez batting right in the right field. He's 5 for 14 against Carranza, and in the playoffs at the moment is 235, 278, and 353. And I know some of the numbers do not matter when it comes to this stuff. Anyway, the Triple Crown winner, Ramon Ochoa, hitting right in the left field, is 4 for 14 against Carranza lifetime. He has a 188, 135, and 500 slash line for the playoffs. Then Vinny Echegaray is the third baseman hitting right. He's currently 133, 188, and 333 slash line with a 4-11 lifetime against Carranza. Then Ricky Compian, second baseman, left-handed batter. He's hitting 286, 335, and 500, 7 for 12, and no home runs against Carranza. Then we have Matt Allmuller, which he's the DH. He hits left. He's 250, 250, and then 313 slash line in the playoffs. Then he's 1 for 10 against Carranza. Then, of course, Chris Hintsev, the center fielder, hitting right. He's currently hitting 533, 563, and 1.067 against Carranza. And, of course, he's 2 for 6 lifetime against him. Then Edwin Rosario is the shortstop, 143, 200, and 143 for the slash line in the playoffs. And then Manuel Andrade, the catcher, hitting right. He is he's .091, 268, and 364 in the playoffs, and 5 for 10 against Carranza. And of course, like I said, Jonathan Ponce is the pitcher for the Washington Senators. Now on to the California Angels side, we have Colin Beal, the center fielder, hitting left. His playoff numbers is 389, 389, and 556. He's 3 for 12 against Ponce, career. Then Heng Ki Ping is the right fielder, hitting left. He is currently in the playoffs, 500, 538, and 750 slash line, and of course has never faced Ponce in his career. Then we have JB Hoblin, third baseman, hitting right. Currently is 333, and 444 in the playoffs, and currently he is 4 for 15 against Ponce lifetime. Then Barney Owen, left fielder. He's the switch hitter. Currently, he is hitting 400, 438, and 600 in the playoffs. 0 for 6 against Ponce. Then Rich Hammond, Barney Owen, I should say, left fielder, switch hitter. Then we have Rich Hammond, the shortstop, hits right. He's currently 200, 200, 200 across the board. For his slash line in the playoffs, he's 8 for 16 against Ponce, which is very, very interesting. Then Jesus Garcia is the DH. He's a switch hitter. Currently, he's 214, 313, and 500 in the playoffs, and 3 for 9 against Ponce. Dane Johnson is the catcher, hitting right. He has a 188 all the way through slash line and is 4 for 12 versus Ponce. Then Danny Romero, first baseman, hitting right. He has a 143, 200, and a 357 slash line and has never faced Ponce in his career. Then Angel Liz, which kind of interesting that they have a guy named Angel on the Angels. Anyway, he's currently hitting in the playoffs, 385, 429 and 615 in the playoffs. And the 7 times that he has faced Ponce, he has hit twice. And of course, like I said, it will be Ishmael Carranza as the pitcher for the Angels. And against Washington, he's been 1 for 2 with a 2.93 ERA, and Ponce is 2 for 2 against California with a 3.86 ERA. So anyway, let's get this game started. I'm gonna go into the fifth. Not go into the 5th inning. And that is a little bit loud from my side of the field. Anyway, if you can hear the crowd out here at Angel Stadium in Anaheim, it is a beautiful day. It is clear skies, 82 degrees out. The wind is blowing in from the right at 7 miles per hour. And this could be the defining moment for the Washington Senators to win the MLBeers League Championship. So anyway, let's get started, but let's go into the 3rd inning. But then again, something has always happened. So let's go into the 3rd inning, try to, speed this up a little bit. Let's see what happens here. Washington in the last inning scores 2 runs. Let's look at the game log real quick. And in the top of the 2nd, Ricky Intsev had hit a double, scores Ricky Compion, and then Edwin Rosario Then Edwin Rosario hits a single, and Chris Zentev went to 3rd, but he went for home, and he was safe. So back to the broadcast, shall we? Here we go. Ishmael Carranza, already 2 innings in, only has 1 strikeout today. He's given up 2 earned runs. Here we go. Here's the pitch, and a little roller to the 3rd baseman for the first out of the 3rd inning. There's the next pitch. We have Ramon Ochoa going 0 for 1 today. Atypical of him. Hits to the shortstop, and an easy out there. Ishmael Carranza could be in a moment where he's facing the hardest part of the lineup, and he's feeling okay. Now we have Vinny Echegaray, 0 for 1 for the day, and here's the pitch. And he hits one to the left fielder, but the left fielder just scoots on in and gets the easy out, and it will be a 1-2-3 inning here at the top of the 3rd. Washington 2, California 0. Alrighty. Ponce is in. Today he's only given up 1 walk and 3 strikeouts. Looking pretty good as seen here. He's only thrown 24 times, so anything can happen. Here's the pitch. And slaps it up the middle. Romero getting his first hit of the day, slaps it up the middle. And there we go. We could see something here. Angel Liz ready to do some damage, his first time up of the day. And a bunt down. Can the catcher get it? And he is out. But a good move for the California Angels as they move over the runner in scoring position. Here we go. Colin Beal. Second time up for the day. I believe he was walked. I hate that it doesn't show that he was walked, but I believe he was walked. Anyways, here's the pitch from Ponce. It's a nice one to center, and it beats the man. The center fielder couldn't get it. It will be a double for Beal, and he scores Romero in to make it 2-1 for the California Angels. Here we go. Here's the next pitch. And right to the first baseman to get the easy second out. And Jamie Hovland, 0 for 1 of the day. But here's the pitch. And he strikes out. Ponce gets his 4th strikeout of the day. Getting out of that quick little jam for the Senators. But we go to the top of the 4th, and Washington still has the lead, but only by 1 now. Ishmael Carranza pitches to Ricky Compion, and he is 1 for 1 today. Here's the pitch. Hits it right to the second baseman, Angel Liz, to get the easy first out. Now, Almuller is up, and he's 0 for 1 today. Here's the pitch. And he strikes him out. Not a good day, not a good day. But here's Chris Yehintsev, the center fielder, the man that's been hitting so well for the Senators, while Ochoa hasn't been doing much. He's 1 for 1 today, and he already has an RBI. Let's see if he can do something here. Here's the pitch. And it's a high one, but shallow right. And the right fielder Ping gets right underneath it to end the inning. 1-2-3 here in Anaheim. Jonathan Ponce comes back in. Of course, he had that big strikeout in the last inning. But Barney Owen is up, and he's 0 for 1 today. Here's the pitch. And he strikes him out. Ponce make that number 5. And around the horn. All right, here we go. Rich Hammond, 0 for 1 today. Not doing well in the playoffs, but here we go. Here's the pitch. And it's hit towards the gap, but it looks like an out. Yes. Play on the warning track. Yehintsev not only bringing the offense, but bringing the defense too. Jesus Garcia is up 0 for 1 today. And a nice little bloop to right with the dive. Can't believe it. Dominguez gets it there. 3 up, 3 down, folks. Big one right there for the Washington Senators. And it will end the inning and the 4th 2-1. Carranza is back in, and Edwin Osorio is in. He's 1 for 1 today. Already has an RBI in. But let's see how this goes. Here's the pitch. And he walks him. Manuel Andrade is up 0 for 1 today. And he bunts and misses, making that a strike. Here's the pitch again. Little bloop to the first baseman, picks it up. Then the second baseman, Liz, gets the out at first. But that moves Osorio to second in scoring position. And it's back up to the top. Here we go. Ching up at the plate, and he strikes out. Make that number 3 for Carranza. Javier Dominguez can hit the ball, but does he have enough to get an RBI in to make this 3-1 here? He's 0 for 2 for the day, but it could be other things. Here's the pitch. And a little one, a little roller towards the third baseman. And that will do it here for the top of the fifth, as the Washington Nationals almost got there with another man in scoring position. But it makes it still 2-1 Senators. Jonathan Ponce is in, and Dane Johnson will be batting. He's 0 for 1 today. Here's the pitch. A nice high one, but short in center. And a fairly routine play for Uhintsev. For the first out, Danny Romero is up now. 1 for 1 today. Making it easy. Try to get something started on at the bottom half of the order. Here we go. Here's the pitch from Ponce. And another high one, but towards left this time, but an easy one again. And Ochoa getting the easy one. Make that number 2 for the Washington Senators. And for possibly the last out of the inning, but can't say it so. Angel Liz is up at the plate. Ponce, only 58 pitches so far and still looking good and not getting any signs from his manager out in the dugout. And the pitch, it's a high one, but short. And all 3 of these were short fly balls towards each one. And, of course, Dominguez gets it and makes it a 1-2-3 inning to keep the score 2-1 against the California Angels. And Ishmael Carranza looking good still, only 73 pitches. And Ramon Ochoa, when is this man going to wake up? The Triple Crown winner is in a slump, and I think I broke the curse, folks. He hits one right between the gap and gets a double. Going 2 for 3 today and gives himself the leadoff double, which will make a difference if Washington can do it. Here we go, Vinny Hechigare. 0 for 2, but Carranza still got to watch out for his pitches. Ochoa does have the speed, but here we go. Here's the pitch.
Strike 3.
And he strikes him out. Make that number 4 for Carranza. And kind of a big one, but Compion is right behind him. And he's had his fair moments in this series, and especially has a hit today. Here we go. Here's the pitch. Nice one, short of the left fielder. And it drops in front of him. Moves the runner over. Runners at the corners. Matt Ohlmuller, 0 for 2 today, could widen this lead for the Senators and possibly give them the chance to win it. Here we go. Here's the pitch. And he walked. 3-1 count. Walks him. And now the bases are loaded. And this is the guy that you don't want to see, the center fielder, Uhintsev, with those monster home runs, 2 of them in this playoff. But this is not the moment to see. But then again, the double play opportunity is there. And it looks like, from what I can see, the infielders are in a bit for the double play. But here we go. Here's the pitch. And just over the first baseman. Scores 1. Scores 2. Man, Chris Uhintsev comes in the clutch. Scores 2 to make it 4-1. Widening the gap. About to make this Angels crowd mad. But here we go. There's the new pitcher in. Finally giving Carranza, I should say, the rest. And now John Pack is in. Here we go. Here's the first pitch. Strikes him out. Definitely needed there. But still 2 men on. I know they're one in scoring position, and Manuel Andrade 0 for 1 with a walk, but here's the pitch. Peck between the third and second baseman gives him the opportunity to score another one. And now it's 5-1 Washington, and I thought we missed the scoring opportunity for this game. But I am definitely wrong about that. Emmanuel Andrade gets the go-ahead. Well, not even the go-ahead, just one more to make this lead wider than it should be. But anyway, we have Hoshi Chang up at the plate. Here's the pitch. And just a little bloop in the inside. The second baseman gets the out. But this might be the killer, folks, as Washington heads into the middle of the sixth, 5-1. Jonathan Ponce is still in, has 5 Ks of the day, facing Colin Beals, only given up one hit off of him and a walk, but here we go, here's the pitch. And it might start something here. It might drop. No, it doesn't. Dominguez with his second crazy catch, diving catch of the game, keeping Washington ahead and keeping California at bay. Hang Kang Ping is up now for the Angels. Here's the pitch. It's one high and a little short. The center fielder, Yehintsev, will be in to get that out. 2 outs, but could be too little time for the Angels, even though it is the bottom of the 6th. Jamie Hoblin at the plate. Strikes him out on a slider outside. Angels go 1-2-3. But this is not how it's going to go down, folks. I feel like the California Angels could have some magic here. But then again, never know. So to the top of the 7th, we have Washington up by 5 and California 1. John Pack is still in the game. Only pitched only 2/3 of an inning. Only has 10 pitches so far, but here we go. Here's the pitch. And a one that's a jet over the right fielder. It will be it looks for a double, triple. Ow! Dominguez gets himself a triple and nowhere close. He is safe. And the damage might be more here. Can Ochoa score him in from third? I mean, it'll be pretty dang disappointing if he doesn't. But here we go. Ramon Ochoa at the plate. And they fire him. Just give him all balls and let him walk. Anyway, Vinny Hezgere is 0 for 3 of the night. Ramon Ochoa's at first and Javier Dominguez at third. Runners at the corners. Pack has only given up 2 hits, 1 walk, but make that intentional. And 1 strikeout. He's only thrown 15 pitches, but here's the next one. It's a high one out to center. And it's an out, but Dominguez will easily walk in from that position to make it 6-1 now. And it looks like it's all over for the Angels unless there's Angels in the outfield. But, I mean, there's 1 Angel only in the infield. Anyway, here we go. Compian, 2 for 3 of the day. Here's the pitch. Hits one nice to right, gets it past the right fielder, and make that a double. I think this might be the end, folks. The Senators are just too good. And now Matt Ohlmuller, I know I'm counting out the California Angels early, but you never know. Here we go. The Senators have Ohlmuller up 0 for 2 for the day. Hits one right to the first baseman. Gets the second out, though. That's kind of the difference maker, though. So anything goes. But it's the man, Chris Yuzhintsev, at the plate, and has done a lot of damage, especially in the 6th inning, to give him that lead. But here's the pitch. Pack tries. Oh, and the first baseman with the lovely dive. And he gets out with minimal damage. And now we're in the 7th inning stretch, and Take Me Out to the Ball Game is playing, folks. And there you go, folks. Take Me Out to the Ball Game, played by the Angels organist. And it's been a crazy one so far, but now it's to the bottom. The California Angels have 9 tries to tie this game up. But Ponce still in. 6 innings, 1 walk, 6 Ks, and 75 pitches in. Here's the pitch. Strike him. Get him out of here. Make that number 7, folks. Now to 82 pitches. Rich Hammond is up 0 for 2 of the day. I believe he's had a walk, but then again, Ponce has been taking care of business on the mound. Here's the pitch. A nice hit high up in the air, but the center fielder, Yehintsev, will get the out. Make that 2, and Jesus Garcia is up at the plate 0 for 2 for the day. And a little grounder to the third baseman to make that another 1-2-3 inning here for the Washington Nationals, as they're about to taste victory and a championship, the first ever of the MLBeers League. So here we go. John Pack is still in. He's only thrown 29 pitches, but he's given up 3 hits, 1 earned, 1 walk, and 1 strikeout. But Osorio is up at the plate. He's only had 1 hit and 2 at-bats, and I believe he's had a walk, if I remember correctly. But here's the pitch. Oh, and it hits him. Not expecting that. That's not a good sign for the Angels, as it could be frustration from Pack, but I could be wrong. Edwin Rosario is now at first. Manuel Andrade is at the plate. 1 for 2 of the day. Here we go. Here's the pitch. Hits one high to right, but the right fielder, Ping, will come in and take care of that one. So Ho-Shi Ching is now up at the plate with 1 out. Pack with 35 pitches in. Here's the pitch. And a little roller to the second baseman. And only 1 out in that situation. But that's it. 1 out. Zing is in. Ching is in. And man, he has the speed to do anything. But Javier Dominguez, will he hit another incredible liner out to third? I mean, that was intense. That lone hit he's had all game was the difference maker. But here's the pitch. Threw it inside. Ching steals second and is safe. And as Ching is on second, now Dominguez has a runner in scoring position. Pack 39 pitches in, but I don't think that's going to help him here. He's got to be crafty. Here's the pitch. It's a high one to left, but it's not going to make it to the wall, and it will be an easy out for the left fielder, Owen. And that will end the inning. No runs, but that's a good thing for the Angels as they need some runs now. As Dane Johnson is in 0 for 2 of the night, has had some walks. Jonathan Ponce, though, 7 innings, 1 walk, 7 Ks, 1 earned run in the third, but has thrown 86 pitches. And here's the pitch. Might be another one. No, just short. The right fielder just let it drop in front of him. Johnson gets a double out of it. Beats the throw. Now Romero, this might be start of something. Sorry to count him out, folks, but when you're up 6-1 and it's in the 7th, it's hard to see it. But anyway, Danny Romero is up 1 for 2 of the night. And here's the pitch. Ponce. Ooh, a fast one. I did not even see that going. And he gets him out. Make that number 8 of the day, 12 in this playoff, in the championship. But the first out is always the important out. I mean, the other outs are important too, but if you can get into that groove of getting the outs, I don't see anything else. But Angel Liz, 0 for 1 today. Here's the pitch. Right back to the pitcher, makes it an easy out at first, but it moves the runner to third, and Colin Beal, 1 for 2, has had an RBI tonight. Could have the opportunity to score in Johnson if it's not only fair, but if it's safe. Here we go. Here's the pitch by Ponce, and he strikes him out. That will be the difference maker with 97 pitches in. Make that number 9 for Ponce. And that ends the inning for the Angels. And man, John Pack has a lot of business left to do. He's got to get through this to get his team, and I have to say this, to get through this clean for his team to have a chance in the bottom of the 9th. 6-1 here in Anaheim as the Senators are taking over the Angels. And the Triple Crown winner, the man that got the first hit to start the 6th inning, is in. Here's the pitch. Pack gets it right in the sweet spot, it looks like. Oh, no! Owen with the dive. Ochoa displeased, but Owen got him there. And that will be the first out of the inning. And an important one, too, like I said earlier. Vinny Hechigere is up at the plate. 0 for 3 of the day. Here's the pitch. Pack tries to throw it outside, but nothing doing as Hechigere gets out by the right fielder, Ping. 2 outs. Now Ricky Compion is in 4 for 3 of the day. But this could be something else. Here we go. Here's the pitch. Oh, jams him up. It's a high one inside. And the second baseman gets the out. Angel Liz makes that inning 1, 2, 3. But now it's all up to the batting. They have to score 5 to tie, 6 to win for this series to go on. And Ponce is dominating through 101 pitches today, 8 innings, 1 walk, 9 strikeouts. Very dominant. And he's pretty much facing the top of the order with Hang Ki Ping. 0 for 3 today. And here we go. Here's the pitch. Ponce. And a little... Oh! Gets through the shortstop. Ping might be starting something here. Jamie Hoblin is up. 0 for 3 of the day. Here's the pitch. And another hit, but it might be one. It gets him 2. Oh! Big double play right there. Could be the difference maker. Could be the difference maker. I had to calm myself down. But could be the difference maker from this rally. And Barney Owen, 0 for 3 of the day, has to start doing something right here. Jonathan Ponce has thrown 105 pitches. Could get the W here. And here we go. Ponce at the mound. And the crowd is getting antsy here at Angels Stadium. Some have already left, the Angels fans. But some of the Senators fans, are still here waiting to see their first title in the MLBeers League. Here we go. Ponce pitching. Oh! It was a light floater, but right to the shortstop. And the Washington Senators of the East Division are the champions of the MLBeers League. What a year. What a year for the Washington Nationals. It has been great to watch this team the very few times I've been able to watch this team. But anyway, let's go through the batting score lines, and of course, the box score. Nothing happened in the first inning, but the Senators quickly erased that, scoring 2 in the top of the second. Then in the bottom of the third, the California Angels score 1, making the game 2-1. 2-1. Then nothing happened in the fourth and fifth inning, but then the Senators came out in the sixth inning, scoring 3. And then the California Angels were just duped by then. They scored nothing in the 6th, 7th, and 8th, 9th, and 9th inning, while the Senators score an extra 1 in the 7th to make it 6-1. Washington Senators, your MLBeers League champions. And of course, rounding it out, 6 runs to 1, 9 hits to 4, and the 1 error for the California Angels. Looking at the lines real quick, Kompian and Yuhintsev, really the guys doing well, but of course Kompian getting the 3 hits out of his 5 at-bats, scoring twice. But then again, Yuhintsev getting the 3 RBIs out of the 2 hits and scoring once kind of made the difference maker. Then we have, then on the other side, where the bats were not alive tonight, as on the other side, Beal only had a hit, Ping had a hit, Hoblin, the guy that was kind of their big man for the California Angels, did nothing there. But Romero did score to try to make something out of it, but it wasn't enough, folks, on the hitting side. Then, of course, for the pitching side, we had Jonathan Ponce getting the decision, the W, for 9 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, make that run earned 1 walk, 9 strikeouts. He threw 107 times. 72 of those were strikes. And then on the California side, Carranza gets the L, throwing 5 1/3 innings, 6 hits, 5 runs, make those 5 earned, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts, pitched 93 times, 56 of those were strikes. And then John Pack, 3 2/3 innings, gave up 3 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 1 strikeout, and he threw 53 times, 35 of those were strikes. But of course, the player of the game, Jonathan Ponce, going complete game, 1 score, can't say a shutout, but 1 run game, complete game at Angel Stadium. It was clear, 82 degrees, wind was blowing in from right at 7 miles per hour. The start time was 1:35 p.m. The time of the game was 2 hours and 48 minutes, and the attendance was 45,003. But that does it here, folks. The Washington Senators are your champions, of course, of this first ever championship of the MLBeers League. And of course, we have to see the mail. I know it will have something about this. As seen here in the mail, the Washington Senators ignited a huge celebration as they beat the California Angels 6-1 to win the MLBeers League Championship. Washington won the series 4-1, capturing the title for the first time. We stepped it up at the right time, and now we're champs, said a Washington manager. It feels great. The champs finished the regular season 96-48 and claimed first place in the East Division. In the jubilant clubhouse after the decisive game, series MVP and center fielder Chris Hintsev said the Senators have great fans and they deserve this. I am so happy for our city right now, he said. So going back to it, for the playoffs, for once again, it has been a good year. If any of my cohorts are watching this on Twitch, I have to say it has been a very good one, of course. Very fun. Very good. And, I hope they are watching this because I hope they get ready for the second season of the MLBeers League. And maybe if any of you are watching this and maybe want to join the league, you can just hit us up with an email at majorleaguebeers.com, of course. And of course, this is all presented by the lovely MLBeers podcast. As of course, I am one of the hosts, and of course, I brought it up earlier, my other co-host, Philip Corwin, which he is not here. But anyway, we could play We Are the Champions, but I'm pretty sure that I would get sued by Queen. So I'm just going to do my usual MLBeers outro if my computer will let me. So anyway, I would usually be saying if you're listening to us on our website, but I should be saying if you're watching this on Twitch or any other places, most likely Twitch, then of course we have a podcast. You can listen to us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and TuneIn. And of course, we are part of the Tangent Bound Network, and Philip would explain more of the Tangent Bound Network, and I'll try to give it the best guess, but it has a multitude of genres pertaining to pop culture, drinking. I think one of the one of Phil's favorites, the Salty Language Podcast, is part of the Tangent Bound Network. Like I said, there is a multitudes of podcasts and genres. And of course, you can always find one there that you'll like and love. And of course, I want you to like and love this one also, as this is kind of the start of the new year for the MLBeers podcast. And like I said, a first of many, the first stream, the first champion of the MLBeers League. But of course, if you want to contact us, not only with about streaming, about the league, like I said, we have 3 computer players, and of course, if you've seen this, you already got a head start because you can automatically choose the champion, the Washington Senators. But of course, it's always hard. It's easy to be number 1, but it's hard to stay up top. But anyway, if you want to contact us about anything, we have our email, like I said, majorleaguebeers@gmail.com. We have a Twitter. We have a Facebook. We have an Instagram under the MLBeers podcast moniker. Of course, we have the Untapped app, which is Beer social media, under the name MLBeers Podcast. If you want to contact me individually, which I do not know why, but then again, I would love to have some fans for this. My Twitter is @RealAWS13. Of course, you'll see me looking out to the distance in black and white, wearing a lovely Oxford shirt and black tie. And of course, I got to show this up here because it's very important to show this for the crowd and, of course, to end the podcast correctly. We have the MLBeers League champions, the Washington Senators. Of course, if you look on the right side of the screen, that guy looks like he's ready to go, looking at the lovely picture. But anyway, to end this out, to end the new year right, of course, again, this will do it here for the MLBeers, Twitch live stream for this year. Then, of course, the MLBeers League Championship. Our motto, our creed, our saying, win or lose, there is always booze.